Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for being a part of the online launch of the bric-à-brac collective. By way of introduction, for those who are new, I'm Shloka Shankar, the founder of bric-à-brac. That still sounds rather new as I say it. I'm getting used to it. Um, for those of you who do know me, I am a poet, editor, publisher, and self-taught visual artist. I started bric-à-brac about 4 years ago during the pandemic, or slightly earlier, in fact. And as a way to sort of sell prints online, and got the confidence boost to conduct poetry workshops. And in fact, Teji is here. She was part of my very first one. Vidhi was part of my very first one as part of bric-a-brac, and Raghav was also part of the very first haiku batch. So some of us go way, way, way back, and just to see how I've quite literally grown with you guys. So thank you so much for doing this with me. There is no collective without you. And you guys are quite literally the pillars. Um, Truly grateful. And I still can't believe this is happening. I'm still pinching myself. So, uh, yes. Before we start, just to give you a format of how this will go, um, I will be asking each of the artists presented in this installment of the launch of the collective. And I'll be asking them questions as well as showing you the products which we'll be releasing shortly. And towards the end, we will open up the forum to you. If you have any questions for us, we'd love to answer those as well. So yes, over to Vidhi now, who will ask me my questions, and then I will in turn ask those in the spotlight today, their questions, and also show you the products.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Vidhi.
Yes.
So, just like to introduce myself briefly, like I'm, as Shloka said, I'm, one of the first few students, and haiku, like I've never heard about haiku before third, like actually, and then we've all come so far as a community, and I'm really happy, to ask these questions to her. So Shloka, I would like to ask you, like, how is the idea of the collective born? Like, what inspired you, or was there a moment that it just clicked that okay, we should do this as a community?
Right. So it's very pertinent that you asked me this question because you really got the ball rolling. So Vidhi and Aishwarya attended this Soul Sante festival, not exactly festival, but like this flea market sort of a thing, high-end flea market. And they had this brilliant tube light aha moment saying, okay,
Uh,
so what about, what if bric-a-brac had a, stall here? And I said, okay, that sounds fantastic. And we shelved it because it was a lot of work. And then things got there were other things that came to the forefront and we didn't really focus much on it. But then later on, suddenly, I think Deepa and I were having this conversation and I was telling her how to make these digital collages. And she was very fascinated with the whole process. And I told her, Deepa, you should definitely try this out. And then she said something which, gave me that further jolt. She said, I'll make them and sell them on bric-a-brac. I'm like, what are we waiting for? Let's just do it. So that one statement sort of really got us and pushed us in the right direction. And I said, all it took was, one morning I woke up, I went, created a group called the Collective, and I said, who's in? And within 10 minutes, all of us were in. And then we just started planning the whole thing, how to do this, how what who's going to do what. And then we had macrame artists, we had crochet, we had art prints, we had Gitanjali slash Navika who's doing the shodo art for us, and there's so much variety and style. And I said, okay, this is actually happening. So and prior to this, we launched our collective sort of community calendar, which came out in 2023. All of us took a month up each and we created our art, and some of them had haiku, some were just art, and we came up with that. So we already had a taster of what it would be like, and I thought, okay, let's just make this full-fledged and see what happens. And this is an experiment, and thank you for indulging us and being here today. So the collective was born, and I think the roots of this were, of course, the mentorship group. And after a point, all of us got so busy, and these guys are pros now. They don't really need me anymore. Save probably for the discipline and the occasional ass whooping that I give them verbally. So, to get their asses into gear and actually publish and write and get stuff published. So I think the mentorship was one such thing, and all of us were sort of drifting apart. I thought this is something which will bring us together again and form, that make that bond a lot closer. So yes, Robin, absolutely. That's how this was the main idea, and I just felt like it's something we could do again. And the kind of fun that we have every day in the group is a lot of rollicking fun. So it's just the camaraderie is infectious. So that's how the idea was born, thanks to you, Aish and Deepa. So yes.
Like, I think that's the beauty about our community. Like, okay, one person thinks something, and then we all come together to put in our all for it. Like, we are all still learning so much, and this collective has really brought out that creativity of each person, because each person here is so unique. And the beautiful thing about this is, like, the kind of artwork we're going to see here, not just us. Like, we are putting this out to the world, and I think it's something like really amazing. And also, like, since this collective is launching, I would also like to ask you one more question. So what are your plans for the bric-a-brac collective, like in the near future, or like what is your vision on it?
Okay, so great question. Like I mentioned earlier, this is like the first installment of the collective. So this time we have a certain set of artists. Next time we will have a second set of artists, and of course you're welcome to stay on, or newcomers will come in. So Aish might come in next time. Chidambar will come in next time. So Guns will come in next time. Ganesh, right? So we'll have new artists, and I think it's important for all of us to sort of constantly also provide new stuff, new collections, right? And these will be limited edition, all that's coming out. So they're up for grabs only till like the next time there's a launch. So these products will be made available till September, and then we have the next launch, new products in September, and then the final launch in December. So that's how we are planning it, so that everybody gets a chance to participate, and the more the merrier. So I'm hoping more of our students will join and the community grows steadily. That's the plan.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm sure we, as this artwork will reach so many people each day, I'm sure we will get to see new work. And I'm sure something or the other will definitely become more magical with time.
Yes. Thank you, Vidya. Thank you so much. So I will very quickly share my screen, and then so that I can very slightly shift the spotlight onto Namika next. Okay. So, can all of you see my screen? Yes. Okay. Cool. So welcome again to the bric-a-brac collective launch. Our artists for this roster are Deepa, Dhatri, Namika, Raghav, Surashri, Sushmita, and Vidya ma'am. I can't drop the ma'am, Vidya. Okay. Um, First up, we have Namika, who is our Shodo practitioner. Before before I show you Namika's works, I've known Gitanjali for exactly a decade. I think we met in 2013 December as part of the In Haiku group. And oh my gosh, we go way back. And we keep jokingly saying that if our WhatsApp chats were to be made, if someone were to steal it, they'll have a riot, because we have all these inside jokes, and it's just hilarious. And I connect with her on a level which is so uncanny. I don't even connect with her daughter Dhatri that much. So which shows, I'm so much closer to Gitanjali than Dhatri. So I'm like the bridge between two generations almost. So yes, it's quite funny that way. And yes, over to you, Gitanjali. You can briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Gitanjali, and my Shodo name is Namika. So this is something called a gago, which is the name that's used on works of Shodo. So how you get this name is that your sensei or your teacher kind of gives you a name and says, "This is what you can use." And so Namika is it, and it means Nami is waves, and Ka is for kauri, which is uh, perfume or scent. So it's the scent of waves. It can also mean the waves of life, so the scent of waves of life. So whichever way you'd like to look at it. And I live by the in a city by the sea, so I think it's quite appropriate. So
Lovely.
congratulations, Shloka, and thank you for having me here. I think you've put in a humongous amount of effort, so much of it. So thank you for having all of us here today. Thanks, Shloka.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. My pleasure. I'd like to request Norma to kindly read this haibun for us. For those of you who don't know what a haibun is, here comes the poet in me and the poetry element of bric-a-brac. So a haibun is essentially, it has a three-part structure. You have a title, and then you have a prose poem, and then we finish it off with a haiku, right? So this is basically what a hyphen is. And this one is especially brilliant because it encapsulates uh, Gitanjali's experience as a Shodo practitioner. And Norma's angelic voice is absolutely perfect for, rendering this piece. So Norma, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be part of this community and certainly honored to read this poem. I will say it has some Japanese words in it, so forgive me if I don't pronounce them correctly, even though I've practiced. So here goes. The first real lesson. Practicing Shodo at home with bokage has been easy. The ink comes in a bottle and one doesn't have to worry about its quality. All the attention can then be focused on the writing of the kanji itself. And as a newbie, I am quite happy to do that. But today is going to be different. In my class, I have to use the sumi stick on the sushuri for the first time. The process brings in harmony and is meditative. I've read the mountains and the ocean must come together when you mix the ink. Suddenly, I am painfully aware of every moment. My feet unevenly placed on the floor, the rounded angle of my back, the tension in my right shoulder, and the shallowness of my breath. Everything that I should be correcting. When you write, it's a one-shot attempt. When you finish, accept the flaws and preserve the paper. You will know what you have to practice and where to go from here. Late summer, learning to go slower on the downslope.
Wow. Superb. Absolutely superb. This is my all-time favorite hyphen of yours.
Thank
And it's
you.
from
Thank you.
Gitanjali's debut collection, Longing for Sun, Longing for Rain, which was released last year by Red River. So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma, for that lovely, lovely
Pleasure,
rendition.
thank you.
Okay. So here's a sneak peek at one of her pieces while I ask um, Gitanjali her questions. So Gitanjali, can you tell us how long does it take to learn Shodo?
Okay, so there's actually two parts to doing shodo, so which is Japanese calligraphy, as we've kind of been discussing. So the first is to learn the script itself, right, and the language. Some people learn only the script and not the language, but if you know the script, which is kanji, and there are about 2000 odd kanji which are called everyday use kanji, which you need to learn, right? So that probably took me about 5 years in a classroom session, but that's just what you do when you learn a language. So you just write it, because each of these characters, the kanji characters, have to be written in a particular way. There's a stroke order. So, for instance, for this particular figure on the screen, you can't write the vertical before the horizontal and so on. So there is an order to each of these strokes, which goes first, which goes next, and so on. So those kind of things you learn in a classroom setting. And that's one part of it, the language of the kanji. And the other part is actually starting to learn the shodo, or the art, which is to kind of sit with the ink and learn to use the brush and the rice paper and grinding the ink, and which is, I think, the more meditative aspect of
Right.
shodo, right? So which is what I put onto that. So I can't put a number of years to it, but yeah, let me just say that it's a challenging process, and that kind of it keeps you going. You keep
Right.
and there's no concept of perfection in show, though, right? Just like in any art, there isn't. So what you really do is keep practicing. I might, for instance, and I don't know about the others, but for instance, this particular kanji, which means wa or harmony, I probably write it many times on many days, and then when I feel that bit of me which I want on the paper, like that part of energy which I want on the paper is done, then I'd probably move on to another kanji, right? Or, I wouldn't put it out there till I'm kind of saying, hey, this is probably the feeling and the emotion and the energy that I want to be passed on through my hand into the brush and onto the paper. So, yeah, I think it's a
Right.
lifelong process.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I consider myself a newbie even now. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. So this particular piece is available in postcard size. It's 4 by 6, and it comes with a tiny wooden stand. So it's perfect for display on your work desk, or you want to mount it up on your board for inspiration, anything of that sort. Right? And these are the other two pieces. And here's your next question, Gitanjali. Are there various styles of shodo?
Mm. Yes, there are. There are quite a few styles in China. I think about 5 different types of writing. But since I do Japanese, there are 3 main styles, right? One is a block style, which one learns in class, or as an elementary school student, one would go to improve your handwriting and learn it as a block style, right? It's called yeah. So it's a yeah. So that's a style. That's one style. The second style is a semi-cursive style, which is what I would say this hikari is, because it's not the print style, but it's a kind of a semi-cursive style. And then you have the third style, which is the completely cursive style, which is really difficult to master, really difficult to learn. You need, you really need um, uh, years and years and years of practice. It's difficult to read as well, right? Because
Right.
yeah, so I'm talking as a non-native
Right.
Japanese speaker or a learner. So yeah, and apart from all this, I think there is also the fourth thing which I would like to look at as an abstract style, as an artist. Where you put it on paper. It's not just any of the 3 styles, but you kind of innovate, like the previous style, which is wow. It's not
Right.
on rice paper, right? It's on
Right.
something else. So that's a bit more of a abstraction is allowed there. But however, even in that, there are rules. What goes first, and the balance and harmony, those things are important. So in Shodo, whatever you do, the balance and harmony is important. Then another thing that's important is once you start, you don't get up till you finish. Right?
Oh,
There's no thing of saying, hey, I'll do this half now and I come back and do the rest of it. No, you can't do that.
wow.
Yeah. So you have to sit down to it, and it's a meditative thing, right? And the
Uninterrupted.
uninterrupted. The third thing is you can't correct anything. Like I've said in the Haibun, there's no question of correcting it, because it's a one shot thing. You
Right.
just do it, and then you do the next sheet and the next sheet, but that particular sheet, it's in nido wa kakenai, which means you can't write it a second time and put that one spot there like other art and say, okay, now I'm going to this is a blotch which I don't want. So you
No
can't do
tinkering
that.
allowed.
Yeah, no tinkering allowed. So yeah, abstraction is good, but we still have to follow all of these things.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So these two pieces are 5 by 5, and they come framed in a black frame. So all of these will be available for pre-order, and the official launch is on 23rd May on my birthday, but I just thought since it's a weekday, nobody's going to attend, so let's just, have the launch today. So that's the reason why we're having like a pre-launch party with all of you. So yes, thank you so much, Gitanjali. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, this thing on hikari, for instance. I think when I wrote it, I was just thinking about one ray of light, which hopefully will illuminate the darkness around, right? So, and that's why it's like a sword cutting through,
Right.
right? There are easier styles to do it, but yeah, so that's probably my mind space at that point. Yeah,
And
and
a funny thing
yeah.
is when I see this together, sort of see myself telling myself everything's going to be okay. It almost looks like O and K.
Oh wow, oh wow,
Put
thank you for
side
that.
by side, it's like everything's going to be okay. So,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Zen mode. So, yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shloka, and happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
thanks.
next up, we have Vidya ma'am, who is our crochet artist. And I've known Vidya ma'am for a while now. In fact, we first got acquainted during the lampshade workshops workshop where I did poetry and storytelling and taught them pantoum and charita. And I have this inside joke with ma'am saying, "Ma'am, can I please live inside your head for a day? If not a day, at least an hour, please." She's brilliant. She's an ex-prof, retired as HOD from Mithai College. And oh my gosh, every time she gives us, her critiques and her analysis, we all swoon. And she's been, she's won best commenter on Haiku Foundation numerous times, and it's no surprise at all. And ma'am, we love you and you're amazing. So and yes, now you can introduce yourself as you would.
Okay. Hi. So yeah, Shloka has already done the talking for me. So I worked for 22 years as a professor of English. Then I decided to quit everything because I was doing on the other side of the bench. I was constantly only critiquing work. I really wanted to go back to writing, the artwork and everything. I took students for art museums and everything, but I wasn't producing anything of my own for a very long time. And cancer gave me that opportunity. I finally decided to take a break from what I was doing, and I'm now living in Wayanad and living the life that I wanted, which is
Yay!
as a poet and a writer and everything. I mean, it's just, I think I just feel like I create art form by just living every day beautifully. So, yeah.
Superb. Absolutely superb. Okay, so this is the teen wizard amigurumi. Okay, and ma'am, your first question is when did you start doing crochet? It's a two-parter.
Yeah.
And how soon were you able to get to this level of complexity and skill?
So I started doing crochet just a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Because I moved to a lot of artwork during my chemotherapy and other things. So I started carrying digital art. I mean, I couldn't carry my colors and everything when I went for chemotherapy. So I started carrying my iPad and I started doing digital art. And one of the things I remember is that my mother is a very good crocheter herself. So I always wanted to learn it, but when she was like, you know how it is when we are kids, mothers are so busy that they don't have the time to sit down with us and teach us and have the patience to actually give us the time to learn it. So after I moved to Wayanad, I really started feeling that I needed to learn this because this has been a desire for a very long time. So I started looking at YouTube videos, and getting the attention of the yarn is the biggest challenge in this thing. And that took me actually 2 weeks to learn. I put in like 5 hours every day just trying to get the right tension so that I could, do the work properly. And then it was just a matter of, I think, 3 or 4 months, and I was already making pieces of work like this. Because it's only basically got 4 or 5 stitches that you need to work with, especially if you're doing amigurumi, you just need to know a few stitches and you can create all your art pieces out of it.
Amazing. Absolutely. So would you like to tell us about the one who cannot be named due to copyright issues?
Yeah. So this particular piece is, of course, again, we can't name it because the artist who has created the PDF or the pattern for this herself also spoke about how there is a entire copyright issue around this particular piece. Like they don't allow you to create anything that is related to it, though if you look at it, most of the other artists, including Ghibli Studios, don't mind you creating Totoros and other things. But somehow there is a lot of, because it is related to monetary gains, they don't allow anybody to create anything that is, not, that you cannot use the name. So that is why I'm calling him Teen Wizard. Yeah. So
Right.
she herself said she couldn't put it up on Etsy itself because Etsy said that there is a copyright issue with it. So she
Right.
had it on a website. I bought the entire pattern from her from there, and she had very clearly mentioned, please do not write, that cannot be named.
Yes.
Just use a wizard as the name if you're selling a piece made from this.
Right.
So yeah,
And
yeah,
I absolutely love the owl. It's super cute
yeah.
with the wand. Yes. And these are the book covers. So, ma'am, here's another question for you. What is the emotion that best describes you when you're working on a crochet project?
Meditative, very peaceful. Because it's constantly, because all crochet works on numbers,
Right.
so you're constantly counting, so your counting is like also breathing, so it actually helps you calm down. So I started actually going to crochet more and more when I felt agitated and all. I would just sit and do even a little bit. It actually calms me down because I breathe with how I'm counting my stitches, or my number of stitches that I'm putting, number of rows that I'm putting, so I have to concentrate. So it's hyper focusing for me. And somebody who has like me, who has ADHD and also has hyper focusing, this is like a brilliant thing to do. So I would say that, yeah, the calmness and the meditativeness that it brings is the topmost emotion that comes with crocheting for me.
Superb. And these are the three designs that are available as crochet book covers. My personal favorite is the Reading Bear. How cute is that? So, if you'd like to buy this for your all-time favorite novel, that one precious book, you can, where to place your order. So, yes. Ma'am, anything else that you'd like to add? Anything at
Yeah,
all?
there is Bob also coming up.
Yes. Oh, oops. I have okay, I have forgotten to add it because it was a last minute addition. But yes, there is Bob the Minion also available.
With his
And
teddy and a banana.
yes,
And the banana
yes.
has come from my nephew, who said you have to give him a banana, otherwise he will be hungry. So yeah.
How thoughtful. Super cute.
He said you have to give him a banana. That's the only word he knows. He says they know banana, they know, underwear, and he said teddy. These are the three words that Bob knows. So he said you have to give him all of that so that he can go to whichever home with all the three. I said, okay.
Super cute. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Raghav.
How am I supposed to follow that?
Well, just be yourself. It's okay. We accept you for who you are. Right. So, introduction to Raghav. I've known him for about 3 years now, and he's like a big brother, one of my best friends, and he's my foremost victim of Stockholm syndrome. And yes, he's the goofiest person I know, and he's the bric-a-brac court jester. I think all of us will agree. So yes, Raghav, anything else that you'd like to add?
Thank you. I'm also very handsome. I'm here all week. Please remember to tip your waitress. Thank you.
Oh God. Yes. Okay. So first up, we have Raghav's succulents. Robin is in love with them. Yes. So yes. So it's no secret that for those of you who know Raghav, he is an absolute polymath. So Raghav, my question to you is, what drew you to crochet?
I think for a long time, I wanted to develop a hobby that didn't involve looking at a screen, even writing and reading Oftentimes we're just looking at screens all day, from 9 to 5, you're at work, you come back and you're playing video games, you're writing haiku, and even that, you're not sitting like with no parchment and quill, you're actually looking at the screen and reading journals and typing and things like that. So I wanted to do something that would be sort of just like, Vidya ma'am said, something that, helps you almost reach this meditative state and you don't have to look at a screen. I tried, origami, which came out very badly. Macrame is very, very difficult. I mean, even one knot I couldn't make properly. My wife is actually a crocheter, and she used to do a lot of crochet. And I found one of her crochet hooks lying around. And like Vidya ma'am said, you start doing it one day, and you're like, I have to figure this out. That yarn is here, but it's like 1,000 miles away. And one day you manage to hook it, and you're off to the races. So it's a very pleasurable hobby. Yeah.
So how long have you been crocheting?
About a year and a half, yeah, for now.
Almost the same as Vidya ma'am then. Cool.
Almost the same, yeah. I didn't like the way you said that, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell us anything about these cute little succulents?
So they're cute and they're little, and no, they're the perfect addition to any sort of table. I have one that I gave my sister, and she calls it her emotional support plant that she keeps on her desk all the time, squeezes and things like that. So yeah, it's a little bit of cuteness to your day.
Awesome. Okay. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
yes, they don't require water exactly.
Yes. As you guys roll over the two on the screen, I have one more question for you. Know you've been an amigurumi dolls turning machine over the past few weeks, right? On average, how long does it take for you to complete a piece? And which doll are you the most proud of?
Like Vidya ma'am said, right, most of these dolls don't involve very complicated stitches. It's just this one stitch that you're making again and again and again in a certain sequence, right? So to make them just involves, reading a pattern and reproducing it with the right tension and with the right sequence and the right numbers and so on and so forth. So something like this, Paddington that you see on screen doesn't take more than say 15-20 hours to make, but you're not working continuously because I mean, your eyes are being strained and the hand needs to, maintain tension and things like that. So I would say that this Paddington is probably like 2 weeks of work, maybe like 30-40 minutes a day. Maybe on a very lucky day, you can do like 2-3 hours and get a lot of parts done.
Right. Great. Awesome.
Oh, and regarding the other question on which I am most proud of, like most, Snoopy. I'm a big Peanuts fan. Charlie Brown, Peanuts, the whole Peanuts gang. I've had so many laughs with them over the years that the first Snoopy I ever made was a really tiny one. And when I finally made it, I was like, it doesn't look anything like Snoopy, but it's black and it's white and it's got like this red collar. And yeah, finally.
Yes. But this one is so cute. It's phenomenal. So thank you. Thank you for this addition to our store. Anything else that you'd like to add, Raghav?
No, thank you. Thanks so much for doing this. It's so good to be a part of this collective. Really makes you feel like a part of something bigger than yourself. Thank you. Looking forward to all
Thank
the
you. Big hug. Okay. So next up, we have Sushmita, who's our macrame artist. Sushmita, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sushmita. I'm an architect by profession, and macrame is my hobby. So
Awesome. Okay. Your questions. So how did you, from being an architect, how did you get into the arts and crafts? And when exactly did you start exploring macrame?
okay, so right from a very young age, I've always been exploring various forms of arts and crafts. It can either for school or during the holidays to pass my time. And I came across macrame through social media and decided to learn it in during the pandemic when I had a lot of free time.
Right.
So my journey started with that, and I've been exploring various products since then. And I'm
Awesome.
still learning and exposing myself to new patterns.
Superb. So can you tell us a little about the images that we see on the screen, the plant hangers and the different types?
Yeah. So these are actually the difference between each of the plant hangers is based on a pattern that I've used. And first one is actually called a square knot, which is the basic knot in macrame. And so yeah, and I have named it based on the how it looks to us. So it looks like a braid, so I've named it as braid plant hanger. Second one is again, it's one of the complex knots in macrame called a hitch knot. So, and it looks like a spiral. So I've named it a spiral plant hanger. And third one is again the same knot that's used for the second one. And it kind of goes zigzag. So, and that is the hardest one. And it takes a lot of time and effort.
It looks also extremely hard. My personal favorite is the spiral. So, yes. Okay. Your next question, Sushmita, is what have been some of the most challenging aspects of the patterns that you've created for the collective? Be it the plant hangers or the beautifully elegant photo frames, which I will be showing you shortly.
Okay, so some of the patterns are a bit complex, but I can manage. But more than the patterns, having patience throughout the whole process of completing the product is the hardest thing for me.
Right.
Yeah, because like you need to sit through long hours of knotting.
Right.
And if
Absolutely.
you make a mistake, you need to remove the knot and repeat it again. So
right. Right. Can you tell us something about these frames? We all love them. They are breathtaking. Absolutely exquisite finish. So yes, I couldn't stop drooling over them when you got them for me to look at in person just a few days ago. So yes.
So this is a new thing for me as well, and you made it happen. Actually, gave me an opportunity to, push myself to do something new out of the box. Actually,
Right.
and yeah, but this has been a bit simpler compared to the other products because it just has one single border pattern all around, and the finishing is quite. It takes time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And these can be wall mounted. There's a small loop at the back. So you can mount these on your wall. And yes, anything else that you'd like to add, Sushmita?
And that's it. I'm very happy to be the part of this collective.
Likewise, we're very happy to
Learning
have
with you
you.
all.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Next up, we have Surashri Joshi, also known as Munna Bhai, in the house. Surashri, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, I can see you now. So yes, Surashri, I think we started chatting off and on somewhere during the pandemic, and it was right after the Triveni Haiga workshop that we got really close.
Yeah.
And she is my soul sister. It's uncanny how much we sort of gel. I think the first person I experienced that was with Robin, and the second person is Surishri. It's like almost, Robin and I have this sync with Haiga, and then if there's another person, it's Surishri. And there have been times where I would have just created something and Surishri would not even have seen it, but she would have come up with some haiku which will be an exact match for that. I'm like, what? Did you see me? Do you have a camera in my room or something? How is this possible? Especially the one with the deep tissue massage. Oh my goodness, Surishri, that was something else. She had just finished writing that, and I was like, okay, I just made something, and this totally fits. What's happening? And we're both firm believers of how the subconscious unfolds, and there's the universe speaking through you, and all of that jazz. So we have a lot in common. And now, Sirishri, you can formally introduce yourself.
That's more than anyone has said anything about me. And Chitu just called me a topper and insulted me in the chat box because I'm a backbencher. But anyway, hi everyone. This is such an amazing platform that Shloka and everyone, all of you, we have created, and such an amazing thing to be a part of it. I think I'm overwhelmed right now because you said such nice things about me, so I don't know what to say. But yeah, hi. I got into haiku like 4 years ago, for about 4 years ago, and coming in contact with Shloka was, I think, one of the best things that have ever happened to me, because then in turn I came in contact with all my friends here.
Amigos.
Yeah, and my boys, the three boys who are here today, I'm so happy to be reunited with them. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just blessed at this moment.
Awesome. So Surishri will be selling her prints, two haiga and one erasure poem. So Surishri, would you like to read the poems for us?
Yeah, sure. So the first one is, so I wrote both of them, if I remember correctly,
For
during
the
a
poetry
poetry
marathon.
marathon
Yeah.
that Shloka introduced me to. And this first one, Raven Moon, I wrote it in spite of the moon ban that Shloka had put on me. But I said, you know what? I've been thinking about this thing for a long time, so let's make it an exception. So anyway, Raven Moon, the eye Odin gave away. It had been, because I'm a big fan of mythology, this was going on around like a hamster in my head. So I just, I wrote it, and like I said, Shlo very graciously accepted it.
Well,
So
I didn't accept it. Password did. First place of publication, and then I took the haiga version. So yes.
yeah, no, accepted it in the sense that you said, yeah, okay, fine, I'll let you write this one. This is valid.
The moon, yes.
I'm not trashing it. So yeah, and see, to be very honest, okay, the second poem is claustrophobic myself into your world viewfinder. I am still kind of experimenting a lot with words, and yeah, it's an ongoing process. And like Shloka very rightly said in her introduction, that I guess I just let the universe work. That's all I can do at this moment. So
So your question, Surishri, um, from denying that you are a visual artist to making collages and found poetry, tell us a bit about the journey. Before I let you answer this, I'd like to tell those present, it's been exactly a year and a day. I don't know if you remember, last year, May 11th, we got together for World Collage Day, and you made your Sisyphus collage haiga, the very
yeah,
first one.
yeah.
And what a journey it's been. So yes.
Yeah, see, the reason why I denied that I was any type of artist other than a vocal musician was because I suck at it. In
No, you don't.
plain simple words, see, the thing is that I'm very bad at drawing. I'm very bad at any sort of art. The only reason I passed my art and craft grade was because my mom used to do it for me in school. And my teachers never really instilled that confidence in me. But yes, like you mentioned, last year when we started, I attended your the collage session. I did the Sisyphus, and it kind of,
It's already
I loved
recorded.
to I loved experimenting with it, because see, for me, more than anything, it's more about, because I imagine everything I write or read or sing. It's like there are colors and shapes and things in that I always imagine. So your ideas, and then of course the tools that you gave us, when be it Infinite Painter or Canva or whatever, it kind of, I started experimenting with the colors, with the shapes. And obviously, I mean, if you look at Raven Moon, I then thought of what I associate with, because it's the obvious reference to Nordic mythology, and I associate blue, green, white colors with it, and then the runes, which are a part of Nordic culture. And so this is what I I remember your Haiga workshop, Shlo, where you said that your artwork and it should not be very obvious. There has to be a
Right.
linkage. It
Correct.
cannot be like if I'm writing a haiku about a tree, I cannot have a tree in the artwork. So I try to find some connections, and again, I cannot verbally explain it because how it works. Again, like some idea, some color or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I try to see if
It's intuitively done, right?
yes, correct. It's more of again on a very subconscious level. But yeah, I mean sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The erasures, I am currently absolutely in love with erasures. I completed this challenge back in October. This one that you all are seeing right now, what ifs. It was done in October. Recently I completed another erasure challenge. We all did, Vidya ma'am did, and you did, and
Yeah.
we did the erasure challenge of banned books. So I completed 1984, and I have started one more on my own just for the fun of it. So
Awesome.
I'm completely in love with what we find on a page, and then if I can find a background, or if I can find an art piece or something on Canva for it, it's an absolute blast for me
Amazing.
to do that.
And your last question for you. Um, how does working with visuals, words, and music all come together for you?
Like I said, it is more about what I see when I close my eyes, whether I'm singing, when I sing. Um, okay, before I say anything else, I would like to, give a shout out to what Gitanjali said about the meditative practice of, what she does and how it spoke to me on the level where I have already done that with my guru, who you see like behind me. It's her process, and what she talked about is very, very similar to what I used to do when.
Uh, can all of you please mute yourselves? Vidya ma'am, can you? Yeah.
So it's something very close to what I have experienced when in the Guru Shishya Parampara. So I would like to absolutely amazing thing that Gitanjali said. So yeah, it's more about the visuals. I mean, I remember even when I had no connection with haiku or artwork or anything. Anytime we would sing, or I would practice a particular rag or a bandish or whatever, I always associated the rag or the bandish that I was singing with some color or some visual. So again, like I said, for me, I have to see it in front of my eyes when I again I close my eyes. So if I'm say singing X rag, it has these XYZ colors. So all that comes together very nicely in terms of colors
Almost
and
like synesthesia.
kind of, yeah. I've read about it, yeah, but yeah, you're right. So the visual, the image, and I am like again I'm probably repeating myself, but I'm a fan of the subconscious mind. So whatever comes to my mind at that time, I put my faith in it, and I maybe note it down, or I save it, or somewhere there's this wall of post-its behind
Post-its.
me. So yeah, so I write it and
The
I just
post-it
put it
wall of
on the
fame.
wall. Yeah. So it's very visual. I'm not that great of an artist. Like I cannot use my hands that way, but yeah, I can use my mind. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
that is something like that's how probably it works.
Amazing. So Surishri's prints are also available as 5x5, and this one is 5x7. Right. So over to our, thank you, Surishri.
Thank you so
Over
much.
to our next artist, Thatri. Thats, where are you?
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Yes, there you are. So Thatri, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Dhatu, and I'm a visual community. I'm Dhatu, and I'm a visual artist and illustrator. Yeah,
Yes.
I have
And
nothing
she's
else to
been with
say.
us in the mentorship for almost 2 years now. It'll be 2
Yeah,
years in July.
yeah. I think
Yes.
mentorship is one of the most happiest things that happened to me. So yeah, and the collective is just amazing. So
Yes. Okay. So Thatri will be selling these 3 prints. focusing on the traditional Indian folk art. There's the Gond style, kalamkari, and bhil. So my question for you that your mom calls you the resident visual communicator. So tell us a little bit about your relationship with visual art.
Probably calls me that because my degree, which is basically a liberal arts, but it has everything visual, like movie making and drawing, and taking photos and everything. Yeah, but it was mainly torture than anything else. So let's not talk about that. But uh, my relationship with art is very Jane Austen. I think we started as acquaintances that irritated each other and ended up as passionate lovers.
Wow,
So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
amazing. I love that answer.
And yeah, I forgot. I'd love to thank my grandfather who is, yeah, who's with us in spirit right now, but he's the one who introduced me to art. So it wouldn't be without you, Mutasha. So yeah.
How sweet. Okay, your next question that's so this installment of the collective's launch sees a diverse range in art print styles, right? And you represent the Indian folk arts with your work. So my question to you is how hard are these forms compared to your abstract and bespoke pieces? Also, do you have a preference?
I don't choose favorites, no. They're all very therapeutic and they're all just amazing in their own way. But yeah, I'd like to say that first. Um, so they're very different and each have their own hard work, but I would say that Disco, it's really about thinking, and then it takes me, I wouldn't say maybe takes me a day, maybe, I don't know, maybe like working hours to make one Disco, but it's something that I quite love to do, and it's really it's much easier than abstract, which I quite love. If it's therapeutic, then I just spread colors on the page. I just think about something that I want to express, and that's all I do. And end of problem, end of feeling my feelings, and it's done. But if it's something that is more conceptual, then I think it takes me a few years to think about it, make a composition, think about the colors, then finally draw it. So it take me about two 2 days maybe or 3 days. But you know, Indian art, the researching about the animal, finding pictures, uh, then probably finding details, researching a little more. Every time I do Indian art, I try to kind of like see patterns because I want to learn new things, and patterns are like there are many patterns, so you can't like learn everything. But yeah, that I think drawing takes me one day, color blocking takes me another day, and
Yeah,
then well, there's a lot
Always
of patterns that uh, come along, and the minute details, patterns, and yeah,
right.
pretty much.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, if I had to pick a favorite, I think the peacock is such a standout. It's so
Oh,
majestic. My personal favorite is the peacock, but I love them all. So, yes,
yeah.
absolutely fabulous. And thank you for sharing these three pieces with the collective. I can't wait to see what you share for the September installment.
Love to be there for September.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
big
Dad.
hug to you, Shloka. Thank you so
Same.
much. I think, yeah, yeah, but I'm not going to forgive you for saying that you're closer to my mom. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
Yes.
See ya.
Well,
Bye.
that is you. That is you in 50, in like at 50. It's definitely you.
Is it? Okay, I get the consolation prize. Fine. As always, but yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Over to Deepa. Hi, Deepa. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Deepa?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Yes, I can see you now.
Oh,
Awesome. Hi. Yes. Deepa, your voice is feeble. Can you speak up a little louder?
is it fine now?
Yes, better.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Deepa is currently doing her MBA in Mumbai. And as an inside joke, she's my baiko, which means wife in Marathi. I find her adorable. She's super cute, and I can bare my soul to her. She's one of the few people on this planet who I can do that with. And thank you for being that person, Deepa. I love you. Okay. Now you can introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. I'm Deepa, and I think I met Shloka in 2022, and my life has been a blessing since then. She was the one who introduced me to haiku. It came through Chidambar actually. I saw Chidambar's post, and that is how I met Shloka through Chidambar. But she introduced me to haiku and visual art, and my, like I said, my life has been a blessing there. Apart from that, like Shloka said, I am an MBA student. Currently, I'm all over the place, but that's who I am. That's it about me.
Awesome, Deepa. So Deepa will be, has very graciously shared these three pieces with us, her digital collages. This one is postcard size, the one in the center, and the other two are available as 5x7. So my question to you, Deepa, is, one second. Your digital collages are vibrant, bold, quirky. Do you often gravitate towards using strong women as the focal point in your pieces? Because I remember even for your feral submission, you made an erasure with women. So I just wanted to know if this is something which is conscious, a conscious choice.
I think I'm so intrigued by the complexities of women's lives. They have a unique ability to bring out numerous emotions in a person, be it anger or happiness or love, all at the same time, or maybe in silos. But I'm so intrigued by them. I think this curiosity, ends up, maybe not consciously, but it
Right,
always ends
right,
up as my centerpiece. More so because I
right,
feel it closely,
right.
maybe.
And can you tell us anything about these pieces, how they came into being? I know the first and third were created as part of a submission call for saturation, correct? Both of us worked on it together.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But yes, tell us your any sort of conceptual idea behind it.
So the first one, buzzing with life, right? I think that was the time when I received the news that I'll be pursuing my MBA in Mumbai. So, it was a change of city, shift, a new personality. So I think that inspired buzzing with life and white noise, right? As women, especially, you get to hear so many things in your life. You're told to do this, don't do that, or do a certain things. We shouldn't be doing certain things.
Right.
Blocking those noises was what something inspired white noise. And palimpsest was I so from my bed I can see the window, right? We have a almost a very large window, and I was seeing the moon that day. I think I was so inspired by the colors, and that is how this came by.
Awesome. Awesome. And the last question for you, Deepa, is Given that you are both a student of MBA and a working professional, how do you make time to create? And what impact has it had on your mental health?
Oh, there's no balance at all. I'm all over the place. But even on the busiest days, right? I think what has changed is whenever I observe something, and I'm an observer and a listener. I don't really prefer talking. So I think from every observation, I think I've started observing art into it. Like, oh, this is something beautiful. Oh, this line was beautiful. What she spoke was beautiful. Or what, some oh, today the sky is beautiful. I think I had that observations have increased in my daily life. And that has, even if I don't write or even if I don't create anything, I just note it down, and maybe someday whenever I'm
Right.
free or in the classes that you don't really enjoy, I take out my iPad and I'm scribbling out something. So that is how it works.
Right.
But yeah.
And
And
you're
of
comfortable
course,
with collages, right? Your favorite would be collages?
yes, collages, yes. Collages and abstract, I think.
Amazing.
I'm still finding my way with words.
Well, you have been a published poet, so yes, you're doing phenomenally well. It's just a matter of, like you said, creating and carving out that time, which you're genuinely, finding hard to do right now because it's chaotic and you're juggling too many
Right.
things. But the art is inside you, Deepa, and like you said, it will manifest very soon.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I mean, I just want to express gratitude, to be part of all this wonderful group of poets and artists, and to have met such wonderful people through you. It's been amazing. I hope we get to do a lot of wonderful things, and this collective will reach places.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you so, so much. Okay. Before we,
Thank you.
head to the audience for any questions, I'd just like to inform you that we're taking pre-orders right now, and you can get an exclusive discount. The coupon code is launch15, and the website is www.shlokashankar.com. So, yes, and now over to Vidhi, who will open the floor to the audience if they have any questions.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, hi again, everyone. So, along with our community and this collective, like there are people who are, here present here with us who are, I'm sure equally intrigued by art, or, you all have made the time to join this meeting, and that itself, shows like some kind of fascination with art. So I would like to ask you all, those who have like joined us today, maybe for the first time or few times, what draws you all to art, or what is your perception about art in general? It doesn't have to be anything specific to this collective, because art is unlimited. There are various styles each day, like we come across so many different styles each day, and each style has a meaning and story behind it. So do you all have anything which inspires you all, or anything about art? You all can share your insights, and we would love to know what you all think about art. Anyone?
Kirtana, we know you're a mandala artist. Anyone?
Yeah, anyone. It
Hi,
doesn't have to
everyone.
be like hi.
Hi. So for
Hi,
me,
Norma.
hi. And I'm also just so taken with Shokla and what she's been able to create, and to have been lucky enough to just find this online is amazing to me. But in terms of art, I'm a multimedia artist, and I'm writing. And it's almost like something that just comes through me, that just has to express. And the medium I select, I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I paint sometimes and write sometimes, and it's just it's almost like a sense of urgency that something has to be said in some way, and I am forever grateful for that to happen to me, and to have the ability to have it come out in some positive way, and to share it, and also people's reaction to it is another important part of it. It's just, I think it's meant to be shared. So thank you.
Thank you,
Correct.
Norma. That
That's
was
very
beautiful.
true. Like art is a medium, to share what you can't tell in words or anything. Like that's like art does that for you. So I feel it's this
A
art
picture
field
is
that's
worth a thousand
very
words,
beautiful.
like the saying.
Yes. Yes, correct. Anyone else, like you can share anything, like it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's just like, even if you all don't paint or do like that is okay. Like, I'm sure like someone, like any one of y'all, like I'm sure y'all have some inclination towards art, like just like a basic insight, that's all.
I wouldn't probably be
Yes,
alive
sir.
if it weren't for art.
Right.
That's really all that kept me through my adolescence. I sketched and painted starting in middle school, and I I went to college for fine art, and mostly I did painting and textiles and like three-dimensional like installation type multimedia stuff. But then I had a stroke, and I can I don't have very good fine motor skills, so I can't do most of that anymore. So I do like collage, and I do I do things that don't require any fine motor skills. Basically, I paint abstract. I used to be a portrait painter, which I still do portraits. I just do them differently now.
Right.
Like I paint basically with my hands and stuff, and giant brushes, which honestly, when I used, my drawing teacher used to be like, you're focusing too closely, and she would take my pencil and tape it to the end of a meter stick and be like, here, now you cannot like over focus anymore. And that's actually how I feel it. I mean, it's like, I can't over focus anymore. you know
Right.
but it it if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been prepared for what, recovering from, because even when I
Right.
lost that, that's when I started haiku and stuff,
Right.
because I couldn't even do anything with my hands at that point.
Right.
But art is huge. It's,
For most of us, it's what sustains us, right? I would say that.
yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's like your soul. I don't know. That's like what it is for me. I don't know how to explain it.
Absolutely. Soul is just right. I'd love to read what Tapan has written in the chat. They say money makes They say money makes the world go round. I think human creativity gives it the necessary access and prevents it from disappearing into the dark space. That's really beautiful. Thank you, Tapan. Would you like to add anything, Tapan?
It's fine. I'm just listening.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to express thanks and like how proud of I am of the group because like I think it gives us all an outlet just to or a way of expressing ourselves through our art. So I'm like the least qualified when it comes to art, but like I feel that through you guys and so I'm just trying to explore a lot of the stuff and I'm like so proud and it's a learning experience every day and that's like beautiful to be part of this group and like congratulations for this initiative and like looking forward to more such creations from all you guys.
Thank you so much, everyone. Truly, truly grateful for your presence. And yes, hope, I hope to see all of you at the store. Just come say hi and tell us, give us your feedback on what you think of the product, etc. And thank you so much for the continued love and support. And you guys, oh good Lord, I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you. Group hug.
Yes, big group hug.
And
Congratulations, everyone.
special thanks to Robin and
Congratulations,
Norma and my
everyone.
aunt
Hey.
for joining us in the AM. So thank you so much.
Yes.